And good morning, everybody. Welcome, Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Bruce, how are you? Despite the fact that, a team that most people don't like, including you, the Dodgers won again.
Well, it's hard to argue with their starting pitching, and Snell and Yamamoto have been unbelievable. Not great, have just been unbelievable in the last two nights. Dave Roberts, I think, is probably trying to avoid dealing with his bullpen, which is a little shaky, but man, their starting pitching is historically great. And how about, Alex and I were chatting about this before the show, how about the two visiting teams between them, 4-0 in the NL and ALCS? Seattle going back to Seattle with a 2-0 lead over Toronto, which I think is far more surprising.
Well, you got a rooting interest in that.
I do have that. My mom's on pins and needles with that, but they've got a great chance to get there. But the Dodgers are the clear team to beat now moving forward in the postseason. They were probably the team to beat from the start.
There are phrases I don't understand. Raining cats and dogs. Never seen it. You're on pins and needles. When you're on pins and needles, it suggests that you're nervous. To me, that would be painful.
Yeah.
I mean, is she in pain right now because the Mariners are up 2-0?
I think that she's probably closer to delirious,
right,
instead of in pain.
So why pins and needles? How about just like a bed of feathers? I
think when games are on, she is the type of person that lives with every pitch. Yeah. So hence the term.
All right.
Which I don't know. I would like to know where the root of that one comes. Pins and needles. Who the hell sits on pins and needles?
I never have even attempted it.
I mean,
I can try, and I'll get back to you.
Don't do that.
I'll get back to you. No. Hey, I want to tell you about the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in the DTC Highlands Ranch in Parker. Easily the best place to watch football or any sport at all. On Broncos Sunday, you can win a Broncos jersey during every Broncos regular season game at each location. Plus, they have great beer specials as well, Coors Light. And then they have giveaway dates for Broncos tickets. The next one coming up is in Highlands Ranch. That is Sunday, November 2nd. They have an outstanding menu. So good, in fact, that I would absolutely and have ordered takeout there before. Just to put this in perspective, I don't understand the thrill of Hooters as an example for a lot of different reasons. Do you know anybody that has ever said, I'm going to go get me some Hooters takeout wings?
No.
Right. But at the sports book, the food is so great,
sure,
you want to get takeout. The bar was, built and founded by a bunch of sports fans. Jeremy and Judson and John, they put this place together, all three places together, like you would put a sports bar together. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill, once again, you can find them in the DTC Highlands Ranch and in Parker. Time now for The Lead.
The Lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Smarmy takes came in fast and furious on social media when it was announced that Matt Peart, who had 3 penalties against the Jets, went on IR with a knee injury. Well, he did not have a good game.
No.
But now they are down to their third string left guard. I don't know if it's going to be Throckmorton. I don't know if it's going to be Palczewski. But either way, they are down to their third string guy.
Yeah. I mean, and Peart goes right on to IR. I mean, they didn't even screw around. It's bad enough that he needs to miss a minimum of 4 weeks now. And that's disappointing. And I realize that people live in the moment.
Yeah.
But he would have been much better this week. I mean, that's anxiousness. There's a lot of things that go into the way that he played in London. But that's a guy that's proven to have been a very good offensive lineman. So, and while he wasn't good in the game against the Jets, I have every belief that he would have been, just fine against the Giants. but now we'll probably see Throckmorton, Palczewski, fill in the blank. That's where we are right now, and that's what a lot of teams have to deal with, Eric, and the Broncos haven't had to deal with that very much over the last couple of years. So,
well, now the question is, what do? Do you play one of those two guys? Do you go to free agency, or do you kind of go for it with Powers out for a while and trade for a veteran?
Yeah, I don't know what they'll do. I would imagine they're shaking the bushes, though, and seeing what could fall out, who's available. Obviously, when you're starting your third different left guard in as many games, that's a bad situation to be in. I know they've got a lot of faith in their depth. I don't know if they have that much faith in their depth this deep in that position, but we'll find out today. We'll be out there today. A couple of things really to pay attention to today. Obviously, Dre Greenlaw is eligible to return, so it'll be interesting to see whether or not he is at practice today or how active he is at practice today. And then obviously all eyes will be on those first unit snaps and the reps and who's taking them at left guard. So, but yeah, who knows what they might do before the week is out.
Excuse the pun, but the Saints go marching into Denver. It seems like every 3 months, if not less. There is a new member of the former New Orleans Saints on the roster. He is a good one, though, at least when you look at his resume. Yeah. JT Gray was signed off Baltimore's practice squad last season, played for the Saints. Great special teams player, all-pro special teams guy, 2019, 21, and last season. He is the 5th New Orleans player on the roster. That includes Adam Troutman, Malcolm Roach, JT Gray, A.T. Perry, Jordan Jackson, Sean Payton, Lombardi. Let's just throw in Rizzi. Am I missing anybody?
No, you pretty much got you got it all. Look, if Darren Rizzi, who needs all the help that he can get right now, believes in this guy, then bring him in. Fine. They need to do a better job collectively on special teams. And however they get there is fine with me. Troutman, Roach, those guys have been pretty good players for this football team. And I don't mind the New Orleans thing as much as others, because I do think that a lot of it has to do with trust factor. And when you trust players,
well, let me ask you something, Bruce.
Easier to deal with. Yes.
Okay, you trust Jordan Jackson, you trust A.T. Perry, you trust JT Gray. Or here's a better question. What the hell do you even know about these guys?
Well, I know a little bit about Jordan Jackson. And
how's he done this season?
Well, but he's not playing on the 53.
There we go. That's my point exactly.
Well, you still have 17 players or 16 players on a practice squad. Every team in the NFL has players on a practice squad. They're not doing any damage.
No.
Right? I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't
bother me, but it's seeming to become a little ridiculous. It really is. It's like, come on, Sean.
If they're players that you know and you have trust in what you know about them, I have no problem with that at all.
Listen, Roach has been a great pickup.
Oh, my God. No
love
kidding.
Him. Love him.
And you love Troutman, too.
I love him personally. I think he's a nice player. What I love about him is he knows who he is.
Yes.
He knows what he's capable of, and he knows what he is not capable of.
Well said.
Great locker room guy, all of that said. But it just feels like, and, who we bringing in? Oh, yeah, he played for the Saints.
Well, it's on special teams where they have a specific need.
And the guy's good.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I understand the guy's good, but it's like, come on, Sean. You're picking from the same bucket, it feels like.
Like I said, if they have trust in the player. And I think that Darren Rizzi probably has some latitude in this to suggest guys that he wants.
I don't think Darren Rizzi has earned the right to choose the guys that he wants with what we have seen this year.
Well, with what we've seen this year, I would agree, but they have a much longer history.
I'm
talking about Sean and Darren Rizzi. They have a much longer history. I think that will be very interesting too. And we won't see a lot of the special teams preparation this week, but this is the first time in a long time I've been very anxious to see what their special teams look like going into the game against the Giants. The game has changed tremendously now with the new kickoff rules.
Yep.
It really has. And it is, I think, a welcome addition. I think anything that makes a play relevant again in the NFL instead of a wasted play. I like the idea of moving the extra point back to 32, 33 yards. I thought that was good. You see more misses now. It's more intriguing. The ability to put the ball into a tight space in kickoffs now to enhance your kickoff coverage is a challenge for the kicker. It's certainly a challenge for the 10 guys going down to defend it. And the opportunities that you have in the return game to set yourself up well are right there for you. So I like the kickoffs and I think it's made the game better, but the Broncos got to get better at it.
All right. Current betting odds, DraftKings. Chiefs are now the favorite to win the AFC West. Chargers are second. Broncos are third. Last week, ESPN had the Broncos with the best odds to win the division, but Chiefs beat the Lions. Broncos squeaked by the Jets. The odds makers have spoken. If you want to bet the Chiefs, you can. If you had to bet the division winner right now, who are you spending your money on? Wow. Are you thinking about how much you're going to bet, or are you thinking about who you're going to bet on?
I think it's a fool's errand to not give credit where it's due to the Chiefs. The Chiefs have done it for so long now. Yeah. They still have the key people in place. They're not, I don't think, as good a football team as they've been.
Right.
But that was a damn nice win last week against the Lions. That was a really good win. Patrick Mahomes has been extremely good early in the season. Mm-hmm. So I would say that the Chiefs probably, even being a game behind right now, we're only 6 weeks in, and they haven't played the Broncos once yet. And they've only played the Chargers once. So anyway, I would say the Chiefs are probably just basically respecting their body of work. I would say the Chiefs are still the team to beat. But I think the margin is much more thin than it has been. I mean, we were dismissive of the rest of this division in the last couple of years. Now all of a sudden they've got company, and you could see any one of those three teams, counting the Broncos and the Chargers in the mix, to win the West.
If I asked you on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the Broncos defense, 10 being the highest, I think you would go spinal tap. Mine goes to 11. As far as the offense goes, in terms of the entire season, I'm asking this for a reason. Mm-hmm. So give me a quick answer, if you would. What would you give them? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. What would you rate their offense overall this season?
Overall this season, a 6, probably.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I have the defense at 9, and I have the offense at probably 6.
No, I wouldn't put the Broncos offense anywhere close.
They have the 4th leading rushing offense in the National Football League. That has to count for something. So
good for them.
Okay.
Did you watch them against the Jets? Did you watch them against Here's the thing. We can differ on opinion here. My issue with them is their inconsistency.
Yes, and that's right. And to me, a 5 or a 6 is pretty inconsistent.
I'd give them a 4 tops.
Gotcha.
At best.
Gotcha.
A 4.
You're a tough grader.
I'm not a tough grader.
Yeah.
I'd give their defense a 10. You're giving them a 9.
Yeah. Well, I
They
mean,
have the best defense, arguably, in the league, and you're giving them a 9, and you're calling me a tough grader?
I saw the Colts game.
Yep.
I saw the end of the Chargers game.
Okay.
I mean, so there's a couple of things that I need to have, that I want to see tightened up.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe I'm a tough grader. Maybe I'm an easy grader for the offense. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the offense is very much middle of the road. I think my number is pretty middle of the road. And the Broncos are obviously on the high end defensively. And that's where they're going to have chances to win football games because they'll be in virtually every game they play.
I'd give them a 4 on offense.
Okay.
If they can aspire and be a 6.5 or 7, they win the division. And that was my whole point in all of it.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
All they got to do is just get better, not exponentially. They don't need to go from a 4 to an 8. If you're going to win a Super Bowl, you got to be at least a 7, 7.5. Although when you look at the 2015 Super Bowl Broncos, they were far from a 7.5.
Yeah, right. You know, Eric, it's interesting, and you and I have had this conversation. It may be worth repeating or revisiting. When you get back to Bo Nix, we've already long since established he needs a running game, but he also needs to he just needs to be good Bo Nix. He doesn't need to be great Bo Nix. You know what I mean? The offense just has to be good. It doesn't have to be game breaking. It doesn't have to be great. It just has to be, to your word that you use, consistent. If this is a consistent offense, and by that I mean can run the ball effectively when they need to, can run the ball effectively deep into games to wear out opposing defenses and set up play action where Bo Nix is very good and can be very good. All Bo Nix needs to be is a good version of himself. Cortland Sutton says it all the time. I'm trying to be the best version of myself.
Right.
I don't think he even needs to be the best version of Bo Nix. He just needs to be consistently a good version of Bo Nix. If he is, and this offense can run the ball, which they've shown that they can do, but at only various times so far this season, this will be a very effective offense, especially with that defense.
Here, I'll break it down from my perspective.
Sure.
The Broncos offense has been marginal at best, and that's probably being kind. Not good is a better way to put it. Over 7 of their last 8 quarters, they have not been good. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Now let's go back to the Bengals game where I think they're still scoring on the Bengals, just like the Packers are still scoring on the Bengals. Everybody scores on the Bengals. They're like a village bicycle. Everybody gets a ride. You have the Chargers game, they scored 20. Colts game, both teams scored. And against the Titans in the opener, they scored 20. They've been marginal. But the thing that makes me give them a lower grade is I've seen them move the ball. Like, I don't know, a 3rd and 6 to Troy Franklin, and then we have a penalty.
Yes.
Okay. That's why I'm giving them a lower grade.
Well deserved.
I think they have the ability to move the ball. The problem is every time they move the ball forward, their offense becomes a boomerang with a penalty flag.
Yeah, they move the ball back. That's a good point. It obviously is. It's an issue for them. 6 games in, we're still talking about penalties. We're still talking about how they have to overcome their own doing. And that takes energy, man. That takes energy and frustration and the whole 9 yards. You want to be smooth. You want things to move. Like I said, it doesn't have to be, jaw dropping. It just has to be effective. A 4-yard run on first down, a 4-yard swing or another 4-yard or 3-yard run on second down. Get yourself into a 3rd and 3 situation where you can open up a quick slant or a quick hook or a dig route or whatever it is that you're trying to do. They did that exceedingly well Against Cincinnati, they were doing it all night long.
Everybody does it against Cincinnati.
And I get it. And I get it.
Let's not use them as an example.
But but the point is, and they were doing it against the Jets. They were ahead of the sticks fairly well early on in that game. They were moving the ball. At one point, the difference between the two offenses was 172 yards to 32. I mean, it was absurd. But what's more absurd is only coming away from 10 points when you've had the ball for 8 minutes longer in the first half than the team that you're playing with. I mean, you've just got to do better than that. And they have not shown so far an ability to do that. That's frustrating. It really is, because it gets back to what for me is key. What do you really trust about this team? Right now, we trust their defense. And really, that's it, right? We trust their defense. We know what Benito and Cooper are going to do. We know what Surtain's going to do. We know what these guys are going to do more times than not. But the offense is still a bit of a conundrum, certainly an inconsistency, and special teams after last week are a mess.
I'll tell you another thing I don't trust. I know that Bo Nix can throw the ball down the field. I just have no trust that he has the accuracy to connect with his wide receivers.
Yeah.
And I remember it was Sean that said, oh, that's number 50 on my list, right? It should be a little bit higher, Sean, because Bo needs to learn to get a little bit of air on under the ball to drop it into the wide receiver's hands when he gets behind the defense, instead of making the guy lay out for a catch. Because while the ball's not on a line drive, it's closer to a line drive than catching a pillow over your shoulder that's going to drop right into your bucket.
And that, I think, is what's frustrating to a lot of people. I went back and looked at my notes from the second half of the season. I think the last 8 games, he hit a lot of those passes. I mean, there's actual demonstrated ability of him stretching the field more than you think. It was like, oh, yeah, that's right. He did that in that. Oh yeah, another one. A long one, a couple of long ones to Mims in Cincinnati. I mean, he hit some of those. He isn't hitting those right now. And that's where, when you've seen him do it, and now you're not seeing it being done, and you would think that that's a normal pattern of growth, right? That's what we're looking for here. We're looking for a player that's continuing to evolve, a player that's continuing to grow. One thing that Sean Payton has always kind of dismissed, and I wonder about it a little bit. I mean, I defer to him on virtually all things football because for obvious reasons. But I do wonder about when you start to have a book on a player, when you start to have film on a player. And I know that he discounts this as like teams sit around trying to figure out, how to stop Bo Nix. Well, no, probably not during the middle of the summer, but I'll guarantee you they're doing that in the week before they're getting, or the week or 2 weeks before they're getting ready to play him. And you've got some pretty smart, look, the Jets did a good job pinching him and keeping him, and not allowing him any naked bootlegs. You don't see it anymore. That's something or other this offense was running with consistency at the end of last season, trying to start it with it this season, but they're not running effectively naked bootlegs now. Now they've got guys out there. They've got edge guys out there that are staying home, that are knocking down his passes or basically making him throw the ball out of bounds. So there's a lot of things that need to be tightened up. And I think that they can be, because to your point, giving this defense a 10, anything else that you can pull those numbers closer to what the defense is doing only makes you a better football team. So I'll use your word. If you can be better than marginal on offense, this is a playoff football team that could do some damage.
What has been the narrative, for the most part, with Sean Payton since Bo Nix became the quarterback? Establish the run, right? It's the quarterback's best friend. Let's establish the run. What did we say after the Jets game? Or more specifically, what did we say during the Jets game? Stop running the damn ball. How do we get from here to here?
It's a great question, because I don't think you were alone in that sentiment. It's
Right.
kind of like, and especially when you're looking at the Jets in run heavy protection.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew what the Broncos were going to be doing, and they were able to take that away from the Broncos, which was obviously frustrating. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to say this right now. The balance between the pass and run ratio has been good for the Broncos, and I think it needs to continue to be good. Now, do you need to be creative in the run game and try? Sometimes sometimes maybe you need a little something beyond just trying to impose your will. If they're lining up defensively with more hats than you have at the line of scrimmage, it's going to be hard to run the ball. It just is. So you got to be creative about how you do it and where you do it.
But Peyton kept doing it.
Yeah,
They almost, you know what? For as afraid as Aaron Glenn looked coaching the Jets with his own offense against the Broncos defense, certainly in the second half, Peyton looked equally as afraid of the Jets defense. Don't want to make any mistakes. We're just going to continue to run into this brick wall, and maybe we'll make a dent.
And the irony is that eventually they did. And they did, and it was just a dent, but a dent in the form of a field goal after a pretty good drive was all they needed in that second half. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say anything about that offense in the second half. They had 4 3-and-outs. They had 4 3-and-outs. They had a possession that produced a safety, 2 points for the Jets. But the one time that they had to move the ball, the one time they had to drive the ball and be effective, they somehow found a way to do it. And without it, they don't win the football game. They had to find 3 points. They got 3 points. Would have been nicer with a 1st and goal at the 9 to have gotten a touchdown, but it's still a work in progress, Eric. I mean, they're 4-2. I know there's some people out there saying, well, they could be 6-0. You know, they could be 5-1. They could be 5-1. The Chargers took that game from them, and they made plays down the stretch. The quirky one was the one in Indianapolis, but this is a football team that I think should be 4-2 right now. I think the Broncos are probably, now maybe not the way that we thought they would get there, but I think 4-2 is where probably most people would have had the Broncos through the first 6 games of the season.
Coming up after the break, our friend Sean Keeler wrote a terrific column. It's a column that was provocative, to say the least. Here's the headline: Broncos offense would be so much more fun to watch with Cam Skattebo instead of RJ Harvey. Might be more fun to watch, but should they have drafted Skattebo over RJ Harvey? That's next.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corned bake. Man, you got to try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of October 24th. Daily cash drawings are every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with every locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose slots, phenomenal promotions, great food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
And welcome back. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Ferguson's Heating and Cooling. Your family should trust the Ferguson family for all your heating and cooling needs, and you'll see why they have over 165 five-star Google reviews. Make an appointment today at fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Well, the Giants' two new hot shots are coming to town, Cam Skattebo and Dart. They are exciting young players filled with energy, and it should be a fun game to watch.
I agree.
You know, it's funny, when you look at Skattebo, you saw what he did with Arizona State, and we saw him up close, you know, in the Pac-12. You're thinking, how did scouts not see what we saw, the way he would plow through other defenses in college, and now he's essentially doing the same thing in the pros? Why in the world did this guy last all the way into the fourth round? As you look at it right now, if you had a choice between Skattebo and RJ Harvey, and it's early, who looks like the better running back right now?
Who has more total yards?
Well, I don't remember Skattebo returning kicks.
But you're asking me a question, and
who would you rather have lining up?
I think I'm okay with RJ Harvey.
Okay,
right
let me rephrase the question. Who would you rather have lining up behind your quarterback?
You mean as an every down running back?
As a running back, period, not as a special teams guy. I get where you're leaking into he plays special teams.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is, as a running back only, who would you rather have?
Well, since he has about twice as many yards rushing and about a yard better average rushing, anyone would say Skattebo if you're going to just strip him down to a running back. Yes.
Have you wondered why he lasted till the fourth round? Because
I was a little surprised during the draft. I liked him a lot, and that sounds very convenient now, but I cringed a little bit when the Giants took him. I mean, I was sorry that he was off the board. There was a part of me that was still like, I hope the Broncos can see their way. I mean, if he's available here, I mean, why not take him? I just thought he was a good football player.
You got a theory why he lasted till the fourth round? Because I do.
Go.
Guy loves contact. He loves running over people. What's he great at? Yards after contact.
Sure.
Who else was great yards after contact? Even better than Skattebo in college. Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
What happened to him again?
Good call.
That's why I think he lasted till the fourth round.
Could very well be.
Yeah. I mean, you want a guy who's great yards after contact. Javonte Williams, I don't think Javonte Williams encouraged contact as much as Skattebo. But Skattebo is a player with an A. Okay, he's a player with an A. The thing is, how long is he going to last?
Yeah.
With the way he plays now, if he has a very productive 7-year career, everybody was wrong, including me on my theory why he went in the 4th round.
Yeah.
But if he starts suffering major injuries, because let's face it, he's running over paper boys in college compared to men in the NFL.
Yeah.
These guys are as big, if not as big as him.
Yeah, he's
not the same in college.
He's already carried it 82 times. So he's getting a lot of work, but he's just a hellacious football player. And to your point, he seeks contact. He seeks it.
I mean, in a sport that is all about contact and injuries, no matter how good the guy is, do you really want that guy with a high draft pick? Think about that for a second.
Absolutely.
I mean, running backs have enough problems having a shelf life longer than milk in the NFL. And a lot of those guys who are lucky to play 3 years, they avoid contact. I mean, Saquon Barkley doesn't mind contact, but he doesn't seek it out.
Right. He was on Todd Davis's radar early on because he started his career at Sacramento State.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that guy doesn't just jump out at you on film. I think the answer is that he does, but maybe for the reasons that you're talking about, you take a little caution with that.
I mean, there are players who have spent their careers seeking contact. But there is a difference between the guys I'm about to mention and then Cam Skattebo or maybe Javonte Williams, who's having a nice resurgence with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Walter Payton loved to not only encourage contact, he liked to dish it out. A guy we both covered, Christian Okoye, put something in his way outside of Steve Atwater.
Right.
He is going to run him over. Jim Brown, loved himself some contact against 230-pound defensive linemen. That's the difference. The guys are much bigger up front today than they were back then. Jim Brown would run over a 220-pound outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Because he was about 210 himself.
Mm-hmm.
But in today's NFL, think about this for a second. And I'm saying this because I'm sitting in Chicago, but I think it all ties in. Refrigerator Perry, his nickname was Biscuit. Do you remember that? Do you know his nickname was Biscuit?
I did remember that.
Do you know why his nickname was Biscuit?
No.
Because he was considered to be, I might get it the wrong way, he was one biscuit short of 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Who isn't 300 pounds?
Yeah, he's small compared to guys today. Yeah.
Today he might be a defensive back. And I say that jokingly, but you know what I mean, right?
I do know what you mean. Yeah. Well, the game has continued to evolve,
right.
and yet we're still playing on a 120-yard field that's 53 yards wide. So the space is the same, but the speed, the harmful intent, the way that the collisions happen, and yes, they're better suited from a technical standpoint in terms of helmets and things of that nature to play the game now. But I mean, 220 pounds at high speed going head to head against 340-pound defensive linemen still is quite a collision and can be quite a train wreck. So
it's funny you should say it that way. And I'm going to take what you said, but slightly tweak it. Mm-hmm. You said the space is the same on the field, 100 yards, and then the width of the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
The size of the field is the same. It's just there's less room out there now because guys are just bigger.
Yeah, it's more occupied to start with. No question about it. No, you're absolutely right. It really is. And that's why we love the game. I mean, really, when you get right down to it,
Yeah.
The violence in the game is created by the space on the field, the size and the strength of the athletes playing it,
Right.
the physicality with which they play. I mean, that's the magic of the game. And we all had, hey, Bo Nix trucks a guy. That was the best part of the Broncos offense in the second half.
Yeah.
Right? Was him trucking a defensive player in the run game, putting his shoulder down, being a badass. I mean, you know, that we applaud that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's just kind of the way that things are right now. It's very interesting, though, when you put it in those terms, that Refrigerator Perry wasn't even a 300-pound guys are a dime a dozen in the NFL now.
Just for fun, let's just take a gander through the Denver Broncos roster.
Go for it.
Zach Allen, 285. JFM, 288. Savion Jones, 289. Razorike, 320. Jordan Jackson, 294. DJ Jones, 305. Malcolm Roach, 290. Everybody for the most part. And those are the weight numbers currently on the Broncos website. I am guessing they are heavier now than they were when they weighed in before they put those stats on the roster.
Could very well be. And then if you flip it to the offensive side, everybody's 300 pounds across the offensive front. I mean, just about. I mean, you know.
Right.
I mean,
and you want to run into that?
Yeah, right.
I mean, you are running into, in theory, every time you hit your – think about this for a second. I mean, this is pure physics. If you run into your offensive guard who is blocking a defensive tackle, you have practically run into a 600-pound wall.
Yeah, an immovable object, right?
Two guys blocking each other, and you run into a guy's backside. If you don't have the vision, clearly you want to cut. Cam Skattebo isn't about cutting. He is about banging the rock. He wants to go through you. He has no interest in having vision. I mean, he will if he needs to. I can't imagine if he sees a lane, he's not going to take advantage of it. But he's not the type. He's not a one-cut running back is the best way to put it.
Think about if Quinn Miners showed up for the Frozen game between the Packers, and he was the starting guard instead of Jerry Kramer, and I think Jerry Kramer was on the left side, if my memory is correct.
No, good old number 64. My dad's sitting right here.
Absolutely.
All right.
But Jerry Kramer was probably about 235 soaking wet, which is 100 pounds less than what Quinn Miners is. And by the way, Quinn Miners can move. He can pull. Can you imagine Quinn Miners running in front of Jerry Taylor and Paul Hornung in their sweep? You pull him and then run a power sweep. I mean, people would look at him and say, where the hell is this guy from? Well, that's how much the game has really changed. The game hasn't changed in the way that it's played. It's changed by the way that guys, the people that are playing the game are in it now. I mean, it's unbelievable. The athletes that you have, McGlinchey, Miners, Bowles. I mean, those guys are all really good athletes, not just football players. They're good athletes.
Yeah. Skattebo, by the way, you know how much this guy weighs?
I think he's in the 220 range, isn't he?
He's 5'11", 215.
All right, so
he's like a fire hydrant. He's low to the ground. He's got good feet, can catch the ball.
Yes,
so on and so forth. But it's not like he's a Koye. He's not built like him. He's built like a fire hydrant. So he's not that tall. And honestly, for a running back, he's not overly heavy. He's muscular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw what his muscle looked like when he was standing half naked next to Ryan Fitzpatrick after that game.
Yeah, he was.
Right.
Yeah. What a scene.
But with the way the guy plays, you would love to have him on your team. But the question is, how long is he going to be on your team?
Okay, fair enough. Well, we're gonna get eyes on him Sunday, and it's going to be fun. I think the Giants are a very intriguing team. I think that Jackson Dart is intriguing. Certainly Cam Skattebo, Robinson.
But you know the other thing about Jackson Dart? He doesn't mind contact either.
No.
Now think about that. As a quarterback, now you really have a short shelf life. If you are a quarterback and you don't mind contact. They drafted 2 guys who have a lot of talent. It's just how long are they going to be playing in the NFL? If both guys find a way to stay injury-free, healthy, great picks. But I think that's why both of them didn't go higher in the draft. Because you look at today's NFL, what we just laid out over the last 5 minutes, that's the concern.
Well, I will say this. Jackson Dart will be facing his toughest challenge as a now 3-game starter in the NFL, coming to Denver, facing their pressure, their constant pressure, and the home field advantage that the Broncos naturally have at Empower Field, Mile High Stadium.
If Jackson Dart wants to go for a stroll at Empower Field, if there is one guy on the Broncos roster who is saying, that sounds good to me, it's Hufanga. Please, Jackson, encourage contact with me.
Yes.
Because Hufanga is going to knock him out of the game.
Yeah. And he's, by the way, not the only guy that can do that. But
Brandon Jones is pretty good.
But my God, they've got some guys over there with that play with harmful intent. That's a fun defense to watch.
Yep.
So we'll see how it all goes. And those are things that we'll talk about the rest of the week.
No, I think we're done talking about it.
I think we'll be back at it. Safe travels today, my friend.
Thanks, pal. Make it the best possible day you can, everybody.